Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another edition of Find Ways to Win. I am your host, FitzgeraldStephens. Hope everything is going well with you and your family, your purpose, your goals, whatever you're working towards. Hope you're not quitting on yourself or, quitting on the people who expect you to win and quitting on the promises that you have made both to yourself and other people. Want to talk to you guys about the subject. Your image is vital to your success, absolutely vital to your success. A couple things we want to get out the way. You want to understand that if you don't control your image, meaning how you are seen, how you are viewed, what does someone think of when they hear your name or they see your image? Understand that someone will control it for you. You don't want to give that control of your image to anyone but you. You got to look at yourself. How do you see yourself? How do other people see you? Is your image attracting success to you, or is it repelling success? Is it bringing good favor to you, or just people just don't want to have anything to do with you? Is your image one of inconsistency? So some days you're on, and other days you're off, which is really a recipe to failure. You have to get vital about how you view yourself. Every successful person that I know and many that I have read about are really, really tenacious about controlling their own image, how they are viewed. Companies will easily institute lawsuits against anyone who harms their image. They will fire employees who tarnish their image because they realize their image, their trademark rather, is their net worth, is their value, what is the reason why they have such a reputation in order for someone to purchase that goods or service. Now, you have to run your life, as I stated before, like the business that it is. You want people to think of you in a positive, great light. You want to be known about you. Hey, I can depend upon this individual. He or she is a winner. They perform. They get the job done. They are professional. They are never involved in drama. I can depend upon them to deliver the project well, and I can depend upon them to deliver it and deliver it on time. These are things you really, really got to take inventory with yourself to see if you're actually accomplishing those goals. Understand, people are watching you, whether you're aware of it or not. People are looking at you to see what you're about. Your image travels often to places that you necessarily may not go, or you necessarily have not been. But your image, your reputation looks at you, and your people are viewing that. In the world of social media that we have, an image can be really spread all over the world in just a matter of a few moments, whether that's good or bad. So you're going to put your best foot forward. You want to make sure your best foot is always forward. How do you dress? How do you speak? How do you control your emotions? Are you articulate with your language, or are you reckless with it? How are you seen with interacting with people? How are you seen with de-escalating situations, or bringing value to situations? Or are you known as a hothead? Can you easily be controlled by your emotions and pulled off your game on any given whim? Are you one of those people you're gonna speak at the wrong time and not speak at the right time? And all these things, you're being viewed. People are taking inventory of you and say, hey, is this person is someone who I want to be in business with? Is this person someone who I want to involve my life with? Can I trust this person? Can I view this person from a perspective that they are not going to make me look bad? You have to look at these things, man, and you have to really, really examine these things. How are you dressing? If you're casual, is your suit iron? Is your trousers iron? Is your shirt right? Are you properly color coordinated? Are your shoes sized? Is your belt all new and fresh? And is your haircut crisp? And or any of these number of things? Is your professional attire professional for the moment? Do you know how to be someone that people can confide in, and they can say like, hey, this individual has a great reputation. In Proverbs 21:2, it says, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor more, in loving favor more than silver and gold. What is it talking about? Evidently, from that perspective, and you'll find that once again in Proverbs 22:1, it seems like the image is your wealth. It seems like the image is more important than any tangible things that you could hope to attain. As a matter of fact, it seems like your image is what caused those tangible things to come to you. Now, I know we have to work hard, and I know we have to be prepared, and I know that we have to be doggone it about our purpose and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. I know we need to let our words be few and our actions be many. I know all that stuff, and many of you know all that stuff. But are you really, really critiquing yourself? Often, a lot of times, what we see people, they have these performance reviews at their job, or even sometimes if you own a business, you'll send like a survey just to see how you're doing. Have you ever taken a performance review for yourself? Here's what really a couple things I want you to understand. We all have weaknesses. We all have weaknesses that we can't see. You need a great, honest friend. You need a great, honest professional to really point out your flaws and show you how you can sharpen your image so you can get more acceptance. You say you don't care about acceptance, then you don't care about your success. You say you're just going to keep it real. Fine, as long as you're doing it in a professional, articulate way in order to achieve your objectives. See, we all are being watched. There are people who will take a chance on you and want to do business with you before you even know they want to take a chance or they want to do business with you. Why? They are following your image. Reputation. They are following what you're about. If your reputation is good, generally they feel that you can add value. I come from a little small southern town in Alabama. As a couple of you guys have already heard that story about a farm town in southeast Alabama, about 100 people. And there's an adage down there that if one thing they want to know is who your people. That southern vernacular says, what family do you belong to? Because in our thinking, in our mind, if your family's name is good, you're good until you prove that wrong. So evidently your family has built up an image, that people really respect and admire. And because you happen to have that name, there's a certain way that they expect you to live up in accordance to that name. And that is very, very vital, very, very vital that you understand that. You don't want to tarnish the name. And then it's up to you to continue to build on that image. Now, let's just say if you come from a family with not so good a name, you can change that. You can change that by positive corresponding actions that moves your image to a way that people will respect you. Remember, people are not going to do business with you if they don't value you, and people are not going to value you have a sloppy image. It's just not going to happen. Oh, they may use you for a while, but you're never going to achieve lasting success. If you're known for the inconsistency with your image. Now, we see the image making is a very, very powerful thing. I would say a multi-billions times 10 business. When I was in college, my degree is in international advertising. So advertising it shapes the opinion of people. The image they always want to show something in a great light. Why do they want to show it in a great light? Because if that product or service or that person is shown in a great light, that deems them in society's eyes more valuable to someone whose image is not shown in a great light. Now, a lot of times the media can be biased, and often they are, but you dang sure can't be biased with yourself. You need to see how you're connecting with people. You need to see how people are viewing you. You need to take notes. You need to galvanize whether you are connecting with people in the right way or the wrong way. Your image is going to precede you. Your image is going to precede you, and you have to understand that, and you have to really protect that. Therefore, you never let no one demean your name. You never let someone demean your culture. You never let someone demean your family. You never let someone demean your professions or anything that you think vital enough to stand for. You have to be a man or woman of your word. You have to be a consistent truth sayer, even if sometimes that's going to mean that you're going to ruffle a few feathers. So what? I mean, people could, believe it or not, people could deal with harsh truth more than they can deal with convenient lies, because a convenient lie, although it may seem like it's good for the moment, in the end it's going to bring disaster. It's going to bring so much bitter fruit, because people don't like being lied to. Subsequently, we find people who have it seamlessly built a false image. And one guy puts something, lies on his resume, and somebody happens to do a little check in the background and find out, hey, they didn't attend that school, or they didn't accomplish that degree, or they wasn't involved with that person. That person didn't do business with him, and the whole house crumbled because of a lie. The whole thing is at risk, and your image, once it is tarnished, once it is burnt, some people never give you the opportunity to get back in their graces and circles, where you're one of those persons say, well, Fitzgerald, I'm doing my own thing, or I'm on my own grind, and I just go ahead and move like the Maverick and all that. There is no such things as Maverick. We are all connected. We all need people. That Maverick stuff sells fine in Hollywood, but that's not the way the real life works. The way real life works, is you got to have networks. You have to have association. People have got to see you in the affirmative. They have got to see you in a very, very good positive light. You must bring value to them. And you bring value by your reputation, your professional reputation. How are you accomplishing your goal? Are you a man or a woman who is consistent in your actions of being a winner, or are you loose sometimes and on sometimes? Or are you a hothead? Are you a person that seems as lack of discipline? Are you involved in relationships that are simply not right for you, or are you involved with someone else's someone else's business affairs that has no business to you? Are you often interjecting where you're not wanted or not requested? All those things really will tarnish your image. So you have to work on yourself. You have to expand your vocabulary. You have to expand your vision. You have to look at things like, hey, does this fit into what I'm doing, or does this help my vision, or does this help my image? And if it does, great, continue on that path, but while continuously improving that. If it doesn't, we already have our answer. We dare not travel down a road that leads to nowhere. Now, when you're looking at protecting your image, you're going to have to put in some work, and you're going to put in some consistent work. If you don't care about protecting your image, any little thing to do, you'll waste time. You will pass over opportunities repeatedly. You will blame other people. You won't take responsibility. And as business leaders, and as business leaders or hiring managers, or any other group that you're trying to get into, they're looking at this. Often, do you know that a lot of the majority of the jobs, especially the great ones, and the very high paying ones, and the very excellent ones, are already, a person is already selected before it even gets open to the public. And most of the time that person is already selected simply because within a network, or two or three, they are known in a positive light. Because if you're going to go to the higher levels you aspire to get to, people are going to be looking at you more closely under the microscope. And you don't want anything that's going to trip you up. You work hard to get where you are. You work hard to build your brand. If you're focused on more than building someone else's brand than your own brand, you are totally doing it wrong. You should be drawn, or rather, people should be drawn to you to help build their brand, simply because of the image that you have created and you are maintaining. Very, very vital in this. Professionals, they just don't go out with anyone. They just don't be in. They just don't be in business with anyone. They just don't be seen just every place. They are strategic, and they are very very careful with their associations, where they, what they choose to align themselves with, and who they choose to align themselves with. They are very very much very very driven to cultivate vital networks. Some networks and mostly all professional networks, should I say, you're not going to get in if you don't have a good image, you don't have a very good reputation. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is just that vital. You never give your image the chance. If someone is painting you in a bad light, you basically attack that. You feel that's character assassination. So there are certain things in your life you can no longer slide in the business world, or even in the legal world. When you slander someone, or you say something that's not true, get ready for a lawsuit. That is slander. You can be held for liable because you damage someone's brand. You damage someone's image, and by damage someone's image, you can cost them earnings and future earnings just off something that wasn't true, or something that you verified, or you didn't verify. That's why it's so critical to have a spotless, clean image. Now, if you have made mistakes, as I alluded to earlier in the video, if you have made mistakes, okay, great. Learn from these and see what we can do to clean these things up. See how we can do to paint ourselves in a good light, because we want to attract people who are going to help us build our success and help us reach our goals. And the biggest way to help build your success and reach your goal is simply to help someone else build their success and build their goals up. You just can't just go any type of way. Are you known for being on time to work? Well, I'm an individual believe that being on time is late. I mean, I really believe that. I mean, I like to give myself leadway in case something happens, or in case something going on. I like to give myself leadway where I could clear my mind and think about the event, and think about the venue that I'm getting ready to go. Think about what I'm going to say, and how I'm going to be perceived. If someone's telling you, for example, hey, you sound like you're angry all the time, or you look like you're angry, or you just sound like you look like you're stressed and stuff like that. Instead of just looking at that, say, man, that just must be them, and maybe it could be. But if you keep hearing that same thing over and over from different sources, you got to take a look in the mirror and say, hey, this is me. Okay, how do I fix it? How do I come across as a more common person, as a more likable person? How do I come upon as a more knowledgeable person? If whatever your craft is involved, because generally we are all judged by our craft and our professionalism. Well, are you taking time to get better at your craft? Are you taking time to enhance your skills, to learn things, to add to your skills that's gonna enhance your reputation for being able to do more, being knowledgeable and an expert in your craft? Amateurs are very, very low paid. Amateurs are extremely low paid. Professionals, however, can be very paid at times. As my father taught me, you pay a man for what they know. I remember I was having one of the many conversations I had with my dad, and I said, Dad, man, that guy was able to fix that situation, that car. Just, man, it was no time. He fixed it like 10 minutes, man, where I was going through it like I couldn't do it like in a day. And my father taught me early, he said, you pay a man for what he knows. You pay a man for what he knows. The reason he can fix that in an hour, as opposed to maybe where you couldn't do it in a day or even 3 days, is because he's paid the price for his experience. And he is known as an A1 problem solver. He is known for, or he or she are known for bringing value. What value are you bringing? When people speak in your name, what do you want to come up? Honest, truthful, fair, dress well, speak well. They remember names, they remember events, they're always on time, they're ever learning. They're not hasty with their words. All these things contribute to your success. And if you're not watching that, and you're not watching that, someone else is going to shape that for you. Or if you get careless with that, someone will actually can actually take your image and make it theirs. Simply because you don't think enough of yourself to protect your biggest brand, is which is your reputation. You are your choices. You are your image. And I can prove it to you very quick. When I say the name Elon Musk, well, what do you think? When I say the name Denzel Washington, what do you think? Okay. When I say the name of Donald Trump, what do you think? When I say the name of Joe Biden, what do you think? I mean, if people say your name, what do they think? See, instantly, you're judging that person by the body of their work or the lack of their work thereof. Now, I'm not concerned whether you disagree with everything they say, or you agree with everything they say. But instantly, your mind goes to a certain thing, like, oh, okay, I know this person's reputation. Okay, this is what I feel. This is what I believe that they are about. Don't you want the same to you, especially in a positive light, or same about you in a positive light? See, ladies and gentlemen, it's just that important. You have to get very, very serious about protecting your brand. You're protecting your image, and you never allow anyone to tarnish that image that you have of yourself without facing serious penalties for doing so. I mean, it's just that vital. It is just that important that you learn how to protect your image. Now, if you're protecting your image, make sure you do corresponding actions to not to destroy your image or not to tarnish your image, because it's much harder to build your image than it is to tear it down. It can be torn. Years of work can be torn down by one foolish action, one foolish decision, one foolish choice. And you're never seen the same. Some people lose the image that they had, that was well-meaning image, and it was great, and they will never get that type of image they had before it was tarnished. That's how critical it is. People will invest in you with a good image. People will make calculated decisions about you based on a good image. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is just that important. Protect it. Don't believe everything you hear about someone or something. Learn how to investigate before you open your mouth. Learn how to keep quiet. Every question does not need an answer. Every event does not need a comment. Learn how to sit back and observe. Know when to speak. Know when to be quiet. Know when to engage someone. Know when not to. But never engage someone if you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Never do that. Never try to sound like you're so smart in a field that you're ignorant in. That only diminishes your image. I have a saying that I may not know the answer, but give me a moment, I'll find out. Why? Because I'm a researcher. I know how to go on there and look up stuff and look up facts. Then once I learn something, then I could go ahead and talk in that situation if the opportunity merits itself again. Or you just simply say, "Hey, I don't know enough to speak about this situation. I'm not a man given over to gossip. I'm not a man given over to small talk and stuff like that. I personally like to find out for myself. If this matter or is true, if this person is who or who not they are pretended to be, and I'm looking for consistent actions, because your actions are going to reveal your image. Your actions are going to reveal who you are. No one has a good enough memory to be a great liar. You can fake things only but for so long, but eventually who you are will come out. Sometimes it comes out in at great times. There are other times, sometimes it comes out the worst of the time. You have got to have emotional control. You have got to always be professional. I used to have an uncle, God rest his soul, and this is back in the 70s. This man would get dressed in a suit or very, very nice casual wear to go to the grocery store. He was a chef. And his line of thinking was, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to meet. Now, looks matter. Personal hygiene and grooming, they matter. Sometimes they speak to people more than your words ever can. Timeliness matters. Completion of projects upon deadlines matter. That those things are very, very important. And don't ever think you can skirt around the laws of success and the laws of image making and image maintaining by taking shortcut. It can't be done. So be a person who's like, I'm known for this. This is what I'm known as. This is how people view me. Take inventory. I would like to say, take inventory even daily, especially after you finish a project, or you've been called upon by someone to do something. Take inventory. Get feedback. It's nothing wrong with asking people, how did I come across? How did you see me? How could I have connected better? How could I have conveyed that point better? All these things are showing that you are really, really taking your image very, 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 very serious, because it is. Now, if on the other hand, you want those individuals, hey man, let them think what they think. I'm going to be me. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. But that's going to keep you broke. That's going to keep, even multi-billionaires can't take that attitude, because they have a constituents they report to. They have people that are looking at them. They have companies that reputations are resting upon whether they speak right or act right or do certain things right. And and it can affect both their personal life and the companies and the people who they serve, or who they're working to provide livings for. It's just that vital. I don't care if you are a corporation. I don't care if you're a single individual, but your reputation is up yours and yours alone to protect. And get rid of people who tarnish your reputation. Get rid of people who demean you and seek to lower your reputation, and have inconsistent in the way that they deal with you. They simply are not worth your time, and you can't afford to attach yourself to losers and people who are not serious about your life as you are. You simply can't. And on that note, your circle is going to get very, very small. So we really didn't have much to say on this topic. It's just so freaking vital. It's just so vital that people understand that, and quit playing around with your life. Stop playing around with your reputation. Stop playing around, with how people view you and how people are seeing it. If you keep hearing some of the stuff coming back and it's negative feedback, look for ways to change it. Look for ways to better communicate it, because the right people will accept you on a professional level, provided your image is right. No, you have to be very, very aware of those things, and you have to look at those things. You have to study to improve. You have to constantly work to improve, and work to improve your value, and work to what you bring to the table. As a black man in this country and stuff like that, often I see a lot of on medias we're painted in the disparity light all the time. With all kinds of trash that's spoken. That's because we're black men. And that's wrong. I mean, I think I have a very good image about myself. I think the huge majority of black men have about themselves. But if you listen to media, it's all the rundown, and we're the ones portrayed on the crime scenes, or we're the ones looked at, as doing bad stuff for the deadbeat fathers, where many of us are not about that life at all. In other groups have the same thing issues, but why are we so spread out? I mean, you can look at things like that, and you say, hey, obviously, the media has an agenda to shape certain values, to shape certain people's viewpoints, to shape certain people's idealism, or how they think about a thing, or how they view a person. You see it in the political culture all the time. Well, just someone else's image of you does not necessarily have to be your image or yourself. But please don't, by your action, prove them right. Be a person who is very guarded of your reputation. If you want to be a great husband, a great wife, start by being faithful, respectful, honoring what you said you're going to do. Take care of your family. Be contribute to society and things like that. Don't play into the narrative, that you got to act the fool sometimes and stuff. No, you don't. Because remember, the world is always watching you, whether you're aware of it or you're not aware of it. Guys, please take very, very strong inventory about your image. And from this point going forward right now, make sure you are conveying the image that you want to get out there, the image that how you want to be seen. Hope is going to be a very, very positive image. Hope it's going to be a very, very good image, and it's going to benefit society. Now, I know there are people like you see on the other side of the law. Well, they portray an image of fear and an image of dread, and you're not to cross me, and all that kind of foolishness and stuff like that. And they're feared and not respected. They're feared. You don't want to be like that. You want to use your image for good. And you want to be able to galvanize that for good, where you truly can affect, your world around you, your world. We all have our own private worlds inside of this world, and we want to make sure in our world we're building something extraordinary. We're moving towards grounds that it's going to be really, really effective, not only for us, but for our next generations. For those of you who are fortunate enough to have children, you want to leave a good name for your children. You want to leave a good name for your the springboard. You want for your children can spring into higher success than you. You want that. You want that. For those of us who don't have children, well, I want to leave a good name for society. I want to be known as a person who really was about being effective on this earth. Before my time expires here, I want to be known for a person who was a connector and a builder, and a person who was a professional, a person who brought healing and helped the people, not discord and not given over to backbiting and rumors and lies and dishonesty and unfaithfulness or any of that stuff, because that's not going to serve me. You want to think about this. And we're going to close right now. What do I want my name to be like coming out of people's mouth 100 years from now? 100 years from now, when all of us are gone, what do I want people to be saying about my name? How do I want to be viewed? And if that thought came in your head and you got that image in your head, then you work and you maintain your image to make sure they're going to speak about you just that way, if not better. Thank you guys all for listening. Thank you, Mr. Williams and Ruby. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. We're just trying to add value to you. We will certainly like you to hit that like and subscribe button. Oh, thank you for the new subscribers. I really appreciate that. Without you, there is no me. So I thank you guys for giving me a platform to come into your homes and wherever you are in the world. And we just appreciate it. We just appreciate being able to give a voice out here in the wilderness, and hopefully it's going to affect someone's life for the better. Well, you guys have a great day. Appreciate you tuning in. And this is FitzgeraldStephens with Find Ways to Win.